Let's get into these hi-hat variations. I chose 13 essential hi-hat patterns to get comfortable with and to play. They're very common, and once you get all 13 comfortable, you can start to mix them up and move them around even in a song. They're all kind of interchangeable depending on just what fits musically and with the pulse of the music. But between these 13 variations and playing them over a one drop, a steppers, or a rockers, you're gonna have dozens of ideas to work with. I'm going to use the one drop as the main pattern. We're gonna keep the snare drum and the cross stick on 2 and 4. It's not gonna change. The only thing that's gonna change are the hi-hat patterns. And just notice how just by changing the hi-hat pattern, it totally shifts the way the beat feels. And that's all that's changing. You're also gonna notice that some of these patterns are straight and others have a swing feel, they're swung. And it's really important, again, to develop both of those feels. So we're gonna jump into these exercises. Here we go. First variation, 1, 2, 3, 4. Next one, straight eighth notes, no accent. Third variation, eighth notes with the upbeat accent. Next variation, 16th notes on the hi-hat. Little more work for your wrists. Try not to play these too fast and make them feel good. If it's too fast for you at whatever tempo you're playing it at, or your hand starts to stiffen up, slow it down because you want to make this flow. Sounds like this. Now notice I accented the upbeat pulse while I was playing those 16th notes. You can play them without the accent. Next variation is a broken up hi-hat pattern with a straight feel. 1, 2, 3. Next variation is a swung version of that. 3, 4. Take your time, feel that space. Next variation. Swung version of that is the next variation. Now we're getting into a shuffle variation where I'm playing swung eighth notes the whole time. 1, 3. This next variation is pretty busy for the hi-hats, and I did it more as an exercise as opposed to this is a pattern you want to play throughout a whole song. It's more to get your wrists moving and to get a fluid sound, because if you can get these sounding nice and fluid non-stop, then using it as a variation here and there will be no problem. sounds like this. Next variation, which is so common, the straight version of Grizzly from Steel Pulse, one of my favorite reggae drummers. So many Steel Pulse songs have that pattern. Now here's the swung version of that. Last hi-hat variation that is essential to learn is understanding that quarter note triplet pulse, that kind of 3/4 feel, however you see it, but it's the intro to Carly Barrett's style of his signature one drop. This is a very simplified version of that, just so I can introduce you to the feel. It sounds like this. So those are all 13 essential hi-hat patterns. They're all transcribed below if you guys know how to read. If not, it's a great tool to follow along to teach you what you're looking at as you're hearing it. And don't forget to play these with a one drop, steppers, and rockers variation. You'll see again how many beats and ideas are already there, just ready to use, using those different variations. So however you're feeling, use that one drop, steppers, or rockers. And whatever you choose to play on the hi-hat can be one of those 13 or all 13. Right now I'm going to demo all 13 hi-hat variations. I'll just use a one drop to make it consistent with a bass line, and you can download that play along to have that steady, consistent bass line to work with and flow with all these different hi-hat exercises. You can just sit on one for the whole time and switch so you can hear each one back to back.